My name is Jodi. I'm a firefighter, and I have a level 4 disaster happening right here on my chest. My breasts look like flip-flopped flapjacks. I am completely flat-chested. All right, we need a break.
Yes, break time.
Growing up, I was very overweight. So at 19, I finally got into the shape that I had been searching for pretty much my whole life. However, with that, I lost over 30 pounds. I went from having a natural F to a really saggy B. I decided I wanted to get the breast augmentation surgery. After that surgery, everything went wrong. I had a ton of different surgeries that ended up failing every time. In my last surgery, I do remember waking up and reaching down and feeling that my breasts were gone completely. I'm already surrounded by men all the time. I'm in a male-dominant career field, which is fine. I love my job, but being stripped of the one thing that really makes a woman feel feminine, it's heartbreaking. The appearance of my chest has made me avoid dating altogether. I haven't dated in 3 years. Ultimately, my goal is just to look normal. I don't care about having big boobs. That doesn't mean anything to me. I just want my life back.
I'll be the last one standing.
Sorry, I'm late.
Why were you late?
So the car basically, as I'm driving the McLaren, I hear this crazy beep, beep, beep. What the hell is that? You know, the tire pressure.
You have a leak.
When you find a gas station that has an air pump,
You got to pay for it.
you got to pay like a quarter or 50 cents.
And
I don't have 50 cents.
Right.
So I finally,
Wait,
luckily
you're pulling
found
in
a place.
with a $500,000 supercar into a gas station to pump air in your tires, and you don't have 50 cents.
I don't have 50 cents.
What's wrong with this
So
picture?
we don't carry quarters anymore. That's like, you know, back in the 80s, for God's sakes. I'm a modern man.
Our next patient is named Jodi. Tell me what you know about Jodi right now.
She's a firewoman.
She has a pretty complicated breast history and has left her with very deflated breasts with excess skin. But let's figure out what her history is.
Can you please send in Jodi?
Jodi.
Oh, yes.
Nice to meet you,
Nice
Dr.
to meet you.
Nassif. How are you?
Terry Dubrow.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you. Who do we have here?
Hi, Devin.
Devin, Dr. Nassif.
Nice to
Devin.
meet you, Dr.
Terry
Nassif.
Dubrow.
Nice to meet you, Dr. Dubrow.
Please have a seat. You're
You're a
fi-
firewoman too? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No,
You're a
I'm
firewoman?
not. We met in the Air Force.
In the Air Force.
Air Force.
Yes, about 10 years ago? Yeah.
Okay, whoa. So are you
that's a
currently a firefighter?
I am currently a firefighter. I joined the military 10 years ago. I went active duty for a while in the Air Force, and then now I'm in the Air National Guard.
Whoa. When you go to a call and there's a fire, are you like grabbing the hose and doing the whole thing? Is that
That's
a thing? So obviously, there have been some issues
There
with
have
your
been
breasts.
A lot of them.
How many operations have you had?
15.
15.
15 breast surgeries?
Yeah.
If someone has failed breast implant surgery so many times, they just may not be a candidate for breast implants ever in the future.
So I went in for my first surgery, was gonna get a lift and implants, and here we are.
How big were the implants?
They talked me into 650.
Ooh,
Yeah.
big. What happened?
Well, they weren't dropping down. They were super high on my chest.
Immediately.
Yeah. He's like, oh, it's not a big deal. We'll do a revision. Maybe a few days after I took the bandages off and looked, I was like, something's not right.
Did they bottom out? They did?
Yes.
You released it too much?
Yep.
Did you have a double bubble too?
Yep.
Yeah, the whole thing.
So
Okay.
a couple of surgeries later, the left one was okay.
Better.
Right. The right side bottomed out again.
Okay.
And then the same doctor, he did another surgery. It didn't bottom out necessarily,
Okay.
but I noticed that the skin started getting very thin. And next thing you know, I remember it was 11 o'clock at night,
Implant's gonna
and I
pop
had like a dime-sized hole came through my chest.
Right at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Right where the implant
So
is
I
sitting.
called and I told him what happened. I'm in pain. I'm in tears. I have an open wound. In his exact words, "You're fine. You're not gonna die tonight. Just come in tomorrow. We'll take care of it, and you'll be my pain in the ass patient for 2014."
You'll be my pain in the ass patient.
Yeah. Honestly, at that point, I was done with that guy.
Yeah.
I went to another doctor. He did tell me, like, this is a crazy story. I really want to help you. I realize you probably have no money after all of this. And he's like, I'm willing to help you for free, but I would like to document this.
Yeah, PR.
Camera people and whatever. The thing
I wanna
about
hear about
him,
that.
he didn't know how to stop. I had 9 surgeries with this second doctor.
9 more?
Just every time that he tried to replace implants, he kept trying to put big implants in. And I remember saying, like, why don't we go smaller? But he kept putting big implants, and it never worked. The skin was so thin that the right side would just start to do the same thing.
Okay, so it was thinning of the skin in a non-healing wound, and it wouldn't tolerate the implant.
Yeah.
Especially with the skin getting thin, bottoming out, you know, shouldn't you have downsized a little bit?
Those are heavy implants.
Yeah.
Right.
In a girl who's showing complications related to the weight
Right.
of the implants,
You would think.
you would think?
In my very last surgery with him, I was like, look, this has taken over my life. If things don't go correct, just remove them.
Okay.
So we took him out.
I literally have nothing but skin. I was called a guy a couple times. My chest is something that I think about every day. I cry when I look in the mirror. I don't feel feminine at all anymore. And not having a chest is humiliating.
What was wrong that we can potentially avoid? If we're going to do something, we have to do something different.
Yeah.
Or you have to say to yourself, maybe there's nothing you can do. Do me a favor. First thing I want to see is put your hands on your hips and push. You know, you were a girl with very full breasts.
Yeah.
And sort of this is your envelope. So ultimately the mound was all the way down here, right? They put this big implant in, but this is on the abdomen. Who has a breast down here? But they were trying to accommodate the deflational change by putting a large implant, and they were faced with a pre-existing little bit naturally lowered areola. You can't just move the areola, so they lowered the mound.
I see.
And nature will only let you lower the mound so much before you get into what I call double bubbleville.
Yeah.
A double bubble is when you lower the breast crease on a patient to make room to put an implant in. But if you lower it too far, you have 2 creases. One, the original inframammary crease, and the new one you created when you lowered it. I still can't wrap my brain around as to why it failed. Was it because it was thin skin and it kept dropping? Was it double bubbling because they lowered the crease too much? The question as to why Jodi's breast operations kept failing, it's most likely related to a number of factors, not the least of which is her own soft tissue weakness and the inability to tolerate a large implant. That's why any plan that I may formulate must include a smaller implant to maximize the amount of soft tissue coverage and minimize the weight of the implant on the surrounding tissue itself. You have a very short distance between the areola and that non-existent lower pole crease.
Right.
So how do we get an implant in there and not have the areola live in the bottom part of the mound? I think there's only one possible plan, and that is we make an incision, we open up the pocket very gently, we put an implant in that the pocket dictates. So we go full enough to give you nice volume, but not so full as to make it a tight closure or putting much internal pressure on the breast tissue.
Right.
Jodi, your case has a very high probability of failure.
Right.
I think it's probably less than 50% chance of success.
Yeah.
You want to do this thing?
Yeah. I don't even remember what it feels like to put on a bathing suit and feel confident, feel like a woman. And if I can take a risk for the chance of that being possible, it's worth it to me.
Do you think that if there was a fire and he was unconscious in a bedroom somewhere, that you could carry this guy out of there?
Absolutely.
Seriously?
Yes.
Would you throw him on your back? How does that work?
Drag him. You gotta stay low.
Drag him. Listen, I'm a little exhausted, I'll be honest with you. I just read your entire past medical history in here.
My storybook.
Yeah. This is the story of your breasts right here. We're in a tough situation.
Right.
So the biggest problem with Jodi is that she's had so many previous operations that the blood supply isn't good to the tissue. Very daunting, very challenging, and to be honest, I'm not sure it's gonna work. Today for Jodi's surgery, I will start by making incisions below her areolas and inspect the quality of the tissue inside her breasts. I will release her muscle and then lower her inframammary crease to give her a normal appearing contour on the lower portion of her breasts. Finally, I will insert small implants that hopefully Jodi's body will accept. Let's put her down, let's close, and let's say a prayer. I think for a fighter, she may end up, you know, smoking hot. Huh?
You're a superhero. You're my superhero.
Better now?
Wow, you look good. You look like,
You got makeup on?
No.
but I mean, you look
She
like,
wakes up like that.
you look like you just went to a spa.
I do feel different. I feel like I have breasts. I don't know what they look like, but they're there. I just can't wait until the bandages come off and I can see what's going on.
I got projection, I got size, and the chances that it'll start falling into your abdomen has been minimized.
All right. That all sounds good.
It sounds good. Let's see what it looks like today. Whenever I unwrap a patient like Jodi who's had some really high-risk surgery, I'm always a little concerned that I'm gonna unwrap her and basically it's gonna be a massive peek and shriek, except the shrieking will be by me. So here it is. Yeah, see, this one's perfect.
I'm literally speechless.
That's the nice thing to hear.
I literally had no words. It's better than I ever expected.
Right now, we're in a great spot. Right now.
Okay.
I know.
I'm so happy with the results right now. I'll wrap myself in bubble wrap if I have to. I am not letting this surgery fail. I'm just so thankful. Looking back at the past 15 surgeries, going from having really large natural breasts to losing all that, then having really large implants to having them both removed, all the failed surgeries, this is the one thing that's been holding me back for the past 7 years. I never thought I would be able to look down and see breasts again.
That suit is killer. I love it.
Thank you guys. I worked super hard to get my body to where it's at, and it's so nice to finally have a beautiful chest to match. I just finally feel free.
Nothing like the smell of the air when you got no cares around. Oh, live a little louder. Oh, laugh a little longer.
Look how good your body looks.
Oh, thank you.
Very Baywatchy.
Before my surgery, I was completely stripped of my breasts. I was left with nothing but skin and really bad scars. But now, thanks to Dr. Dubrow, I finally have breasts. They're the perfect size, my scars are minimized. Now I even feel sexy when I'm in my uniform. I feel like a woman. My breasts are amazing. It's not perfect, but no more level 4 disaster here. My breasts are looking great.
You can just tell you don't have this like weight on your shoulders anymore, and it's so nice to see you stop having to hit, pause on your life finally.
I'm finally dating again.
Excited for you.
I mean, you have a lot to show off now.
You'll be like 2 seconds into it, you'll be like, let's get naked.
Like, shirts off. Jodi just looks so good.
She looks so hot. Like the confidence just is radiating out of her. She looks amazing.
Come on, Jodi, it's like your firefighter training.
I got you. Don't worry.
Let's go.